And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch live, head over to takesbyfans.com/watch. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered multiple ways. Alrighty, today's a big old Friday, folks, and we must make our official picks for the AFC and NFC championship games. We predicted and reacted and did a little bit of a film study to, get us ready for what those lines were. We slept on them, and man, oh man, Vegas, man, I got to applaud Vegas, man. Got to give them the applause. These lines, folks, these may be the hardest lines to play all season long, but we are up for the task of breaking Vegas and making the right picks, being on the right side of the bets this weekend. So making our official predictions today on the show. We'll talk coaching as well today. There's some statements coming out now that these coaches, the Broncos coach and the Broncos and Bears coaches, officially kind of being signed or officially kind of knowing they're going to be hired. So we're going to be hearing from the general managers, the coaches. What's the direction early that they're moving in? Can we buy the defensive coordinator as a coach based on how they're selling it to the fans? So we'll take a look at all that, see who's kind of going to be potentially the next coach hired, what team's going to make their next selection here. There were 7 teams needing a head coach, 2 are off the board. Who's going to be next? So we'll talk all that through as well today, and then we've got to go over the NBA. So let's start there. We don't have to set a clock for the NBA because there was only 2 games on last night, and we can take our time talking about the lines tonight because there is 11 games, and this is what we've been gearing up for, a big day. Where's the great value? Can we make a little bit more money? We've been betting one team the last couple of days, so let's see if we can, we've got our pick of the crop with 11 games. We'll see if we can maybe do like a 3, 4, 5. Is there 5 great games that we feel confident? Let's see how much money we can potentially make tonight. So we'll talk all that through. So let's just start here with the NBA, and we will switch gears after that. So here we go. What happened in the NBA last night? Well, 2 games on last night. So let's start with the first one up here, Lakers at the 76ers, and we were going to take Lakers plus 2.5. That's what we told y'all on the show. But then about an hour, half hour right before tip-off, they were like, oh, LeBron's not playing, and instantly we're not going to bet that. You guys should not be betting really any sport, really kind of up until game time tip-off. If you're doing parlays, with a 7, like 8 and 9 start, or maybe you're betting, multiple days on the parlay, try to lock in that parlay as close as that first game, that first leg tipping off, because, especially in the NBA as of recently, they've been kind of telling us to starting lineup and then last minute making a last second in or out that definitely impacts the game. LeBron James, we're not betting on this Lakers team without LeBron James. What are you, absolutely crazy? Of course we're not doing that. So all the information that we give you on the show, wait a little bit up until tip off, maybe about a half hour right before, until we get all the collective information, because this line went from Lakers plus 2.5 when LeBron James was supposed to be playing to Lakers plus 6.5. So a 4-point change for LeBron James, obviously. And at that point, that's not even good value, because who are we going to rely on? Anthony Davis? We couldn't even do that because he got injured in like the first quarter of last night's game. Truly unfortunate. So Anthony Davis back injured. Womp. LeBron James, just a little bit of knee soreness. That's all it was. He said he woke up with some knee soreness and they ruled him out a little bit later. So, so no LeBron, obviously no good, and that's exactly what happened. 76ers get the win, 105-87. Big old dominant win here for the 76ers team without the King and AD. So who got it done for the 76ers last night? Well, we can always rely on our man Joel Embiid, 26 points, 7 assists, 9 rebounds. Tobias Harris, 23 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds, magnificent. And then Tyrese Maxey back being that true facilitator, and this is truly what we want to see. We know Tyrese Tyrese Maxey can score, but they've got other shooters on this team. Tobias Harris, feed Joel Embiid. Korkmaz can, get it done as well. So Tyrese Maxey, 14 points, which we love, but those 10 assists, yes, sir, double-double for the man last night, along with 7 rebounds. And Tyrese Maxey was a plus 27 on the floor in 38 minutes. He's the only player that played 38 minutes last night. So Tyrese Maxey, very well done. This is starting to what we want to see a little bit more consistently. We would love to have Tyrese Maxey in 20-plus points, but I think getting those assisting numbers are a little bit more important because they do have some decent scores sprinkled into this offense. Same thing with like Lonzo Ball, why we kind of knock Lonzo Ball. He takes a little bit too many shots for our liking, and he doesn't, and he kind of lets the assists be a little bit of an afterthought here. And that's why we were so big on the 76ers team real early on in the season, first 3 weeks of the year, where it was because Tyrese Maxey was getting those assisting numbers while being super efficient from the field. So we're starting to potentially get, OG beginning of the season Tyrese Maxey back, and that's exactly what we would love to see. And then off the bench, we got Georges Niang, 14 points on 71% shooting. He's going to be a huge key here. We definitely need some other players to step up on the 76ers bench here. And Georges Niang giving us 14 points. We will absolutely take that. So the 76ers get the win. And then for the Lakers, well, no LeBron, so obviously no chance of winning. Anthony Davis, he played 33 minutes. All right, I thought he got a little bit, did he return back in the game? Is that right? Interesting. I did not think he returned back in the game, but Anthony Davis played 33 minutes last night, 31 points, 12 rebounds. And it was, I believe, hand injury, something like that. So 31 points for Anthony Davis, 12 rebounds. We got Russell Westbrook, 20 points, but he did have 6 turnovers. Womp, womp. He was a minus 11 on the floor, and that was the worst by the starters. The second worst was Malik Monk, minus 8 on the floor in 30 minutes. And Malik Monk let us down, folks. 11 points on 23% shooting. 1 of 6 from the 3. Got to do so much better than that. And we've been saying it all season long. Malik Monk's going to be the key if this Lakers team has success or not, and especially without LeBron James, he needed 1,000% to step up, and what a big flounder performance last night. So Anthony Davis still got 31 points, 12 rebounds. I give that man a ton of credit, and Russell Westbrook a nice 20 piece as well. Unfortunately, we get the unfortunate with Russell Westbrook, the 6 turnovers. So Lakers cannot function without LeBron James. We all know this, and they get absolutely blown out 105-87 last night. All right, then the last game from the night, Timberwolves at the Warriors, and Warriors get the win, 124-115. They cover the -6 bingo bango and get the win. Steph Curry had a night, folks, finally back on track for Steph Curry. He was in a little bit of a slump here, shooting very, very poor the last 3 weeks, but he's back, folks. 29 points on 6 of 10 from the 3, 50% shooting on 20 shots. Fantastic. He's back. 6 assists and 8 rebounds to go along with that. Klay Thompson playing 26 minutes, so still a little bit of minutes restriction. Can definitely expect that man to play 30-plus minutes every single night when he's kind of good to go, fully cleared here. But still 23 points, 5 of 9 from the 3. We're getting the classic Splash Brothers back, and it's still looking as good as ever. So absolutely love seeing that. We got Otto Porter Jr. filling in at the 4 for still no Draymond Green, and it's not looking great that Draymond Green's going to be kind of back anytime soon. He just signed a contract with Turner Sports to kind of be on inside the NBA whenever he has free time. So I don't know, man. Draymond Green, he's fantastic. We really want him to be back on this Warriors team. Can they still win the championship without Draymond Green? Potentially. I definitely think they could potentially get to the Western Conference Finals, maybe even be a participant in the finals. But I really do believe, folks, and we've been saying this, since we've started the show, Draymond Green is a huge piece of the big 3 here with the Warriors, folks. Stop disrespecting Draymond Green. He gets the most disrespect out of anybody on this Warriors team, and I just don't agree with all that disrespect. So definitely would love to see him back, and I think the Warriors need him to win the chip. But Otto Porter Jr. at the 4, 11 points. He had 4 rebounds. Solid work there. And then Andrew Wiggins, 19 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds. We're going to be talking about Andrew Wiggins a little bit more in a minute when we talk about who got selected as the all-star starters for this year in the NBA. We'll talk about that. A little controversial, but, we kind of agree a little bit. And then Jordan Poole coming off the bench. Once again, 19 points, 5 assists. He shot 3 of 4 from 3. And Jordan Poole, the biggest key here is for him to get it figured out off the bench. Now that Klay Thompson's back, it's not that they don't need Jordan Poole. It's just that he's not going to be a starter anymore. And he was fantastic filling in for Klay Thompson when he couldn't play the beginning of the season here. And, now we're starting to see some real solid production by Jordan Poole coming off the bench. He's truly going to be a little bit of the glue to hold this team together if they want to make the finals, especially without Draymond Green. We can't have no Draymond Green and Jordan Poole being lackluster off the bench. That's truly not going to get it done for them in the finals. But Jordan Poole, 19 points on 50% shooting. We will absolutely take that. All right, and then the Timberwolves, they kept it close. Big shout out to this Timberwolves team. I mean, when, they're all healthy and all ready to go, they can hang with the big dogs. So this is a big green flag for the Timberwolves. Their bettability is definitely climbing. They were +6 last night, and they lost by 9 points. So still even there, they were close. So shout out to the Wolves. But the big three, let's start with them. Karl Anthony Towns, 31 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists. Magnificent. Anthony Edwards, 27 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds. He wasn't efficient from the 3, shooting 18%, but still got us to 27 points. Fantastic. And then D'Angelo Russell, only 8 points, 5 assists. He only played 19 minutes last night. Not efficient, shooting 2 of 7 from the 3. And then we had Jaden McDaniels and a solid 14 points to help out the squad. And Jalen Noel, a nice 10 points coming off the bench. Not efficient either. 0 of 5 from the 3. I mean, they shot 22% as a team from 3. 10 of 44. Where the Warriors, I mean, they live and die by the 3. And they were living all night last night. They shot 58% from the 3. 21 of 36 shots from 3. So Timberwolves just trying to kind of play catch up with the Warriors from 3. And we obviously know the Warriors, the Splash Brothers, hit the 3 at the best clip maybe in NBA history. Absolutely. So Warriors get the win here. They cover the spread. They win 124-115. All right, those were all the games from last night in the NBA, but before we talk about the matchups tonight and the spreads and what's the great value and all of that, let's quickly touch upon the Eastern and Western Conference All-Star starters. Now, we voted on this probably about 2 weeks ago on the show, so let's see how much our voice was truly impacted on the final results. Did we call it all right? So let's start here with the Eastern Conference. Our 5 that we selected were Tyrese Maxey, we had DeMar DeRozan, Joel Embiid, Giannis, and Kevin Durant. That was our starting 5. And this is the starting 5. We get Kevin Durant, Giannis, Joel Embiid, DeMar DeRozan, and Trae Young. All right, so we only missed one there. We had Tyrese Maxey instead of Trae Young. Trae Young has just started to kind of come on. We've been talking about this Hawks team very lackluster in the beginning of the season, turned a little bit of a corner. What did we just say yesterday on the show? 5-game winning streak, getting it done. But I think, they must have been voting for Trae Young before this kind of 5-game stretch. So all right, Trae Young getting the nod. That's fine. I still think Tyrese Maxey deserves it a little bit more over Trae Young. Tyrese Maxey has been very consistent this entire year. Trae Young not able to kind of lead his team to wins and consistent competition here, competitiveness with some of their players kind of in and out. So I still like Trae Young. We're not knocking Trae Young, but I think it's a little questionable that he made the all-star starters. But we hit 4 out of the 5, so that's fantastic. DeMar DeRozan truly deserves a shout out to y'all for voting him in. He's the best Bull that there is currently, and we know that Bulls team is truly stacked. Joel Embiid getting a nod. That man has been super consistent. He's in the MVP conversation, all that. Joel Embiid obviously deserves it. Giannis getting back in there, absolutely. And Kevin Durant, absolutely so consistent with that Nets team. Truly unfortunate that he got injured, so he's not going to be playing in the game, but still y'all voted him, and we truly agree. So we were kind of right, and I think y'all got it right. Y'all wanted Trae Young in there. We can definitely see it. Do we agree 100%? No, but we agree on some percent there. So we won't go too hard on y'all for voting Trae Young in. So that is the starting 5 Eastern Conference All-Stars, folks. Durant, Giannis, Embiid, DeMar DeRozan, and Trae Young. All right, now let's see how we did on the Western Conference, where this stirred all the controversy. Oh my goodness, Twitter was on flames the other night when they revealed who was actually the starting 5 here. So this is who we voted the starting 5 in the Western Conference. We voted John Morant, Anthony Edwards, LeBron James, Jonas Valanciunas, and Jokic as the starting 5, and this is the starting 5. We get LeBron James, Jokic, Andrew Wiggins. That is the big controversy right here, but let's finish off naming the starting 5. Steph Curry and John Morant. So we had 3 of the 5 right. We had LeBron James, we picked Jokic, and we picked John Morant. Steph Curry and Andrew Wiggins getting inside the top 5 here. We've obviously got no problem with Steph Curry, but when we were voting, that was kind of when Steph Curry was starting and kind of a little bit in the middle of his little bit of a shooting slump. So that's why we did not put him in the All-Star starters. Obviously, Steph Curry is one of the best players in the NBA, potentially can go down. Steph Curry could go down as greatest of all time. It's potential, folks. We obviously have to see how the rest of his career plays out, obviously. But I think he could be in that discussion when it's all said and done. So obviously, he deserves to be an all-star whenever y'all choose him. So we've got no problem with y'all voting in Steph Curry. But same thing with Trae Young. It was just like, yeah, they're great. We all know they're great. But when we were voting, they weren't really the greatest at that point. And then the big controversy right here, Andrew Wiggins. And hey, I give y'all credit for voting this man. And I don't know how y'all got it done. We didn't even vote him. And we're probably the biggest champions of Andrew Wiggins, the most slept on non-kind of superstar. I think we can all agree Andrew Wiggins is not kind of classified as a superstar. He's not the Steph Curry. He's not the LeBron James. He's not as big as Giannis, all their names. We all know that. But he was still voted in this Western Conference All-Star starters here, and once again, just always kind of underrated, always overlooked, being kind of a non-superstar for the Warriors, but he's so gosh dang consistent. We've been saying this since we started the show, folks. Since the first season that we started here at Takes by Fans was the bubble year, and we were just championing Andrew Wiggins all last year, championing him. No Klay Thompson for the last 2 seasons, and Andrew Wiggins' consistency has truly kept this Warriors team relevant. We know Steph Curry will always keep this team relevant, obviously, but Andrew Wiggins kind of softened the blow. You go from 22, 25 points a game with Klay Thompson on excellent 3-point shooting, and we get Andrew Wiggins. I think he's averaging maybe 18 or 19 points here over the last couple of seasons, but always consistent, always efficient, good defense, can give you that nice offensive production that you need to be competitive and win games here. So Andrew Wiggins always slept on. I know that we didn't vote him as an all-star, but I'm truly glad he is one. Truly has been disrespected, undervalued his entire career. The Warriors, this is the perfect fit for him. And he's been so gosh dang consistent. So I agree with y'all voting Andrew Wiggins in, folks. And just seeing how Twitter reacted, that's where it gets a little confusing, because it didn't seem like anybody wanted him to be a Western Conference starter here in the All-Star game. Everybody was kind of saying, Andrew Wiggins, what is he doing on this list? But hey, he's on here. I think he deserves it, and we'll see how he does. Give respect to Andrew Wiggins, folks. Truly, truly, truly. And if Draymond Green isn't going to be back, or, isn't going to be kind of himself, or always kind of in and out whenever he does come back, Andrew Wiggins can hold this team down. We got Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, Jordan Poole, and Andrew Wiggins. Like I said, I don't know if they can win the chip, but they can definitely get to the chip with that kind of big four. Draymond Green could tie it all together. But those are the Western Conference starting 5 here. LeBron, Jokic, Andrew Wiggins, Steph Curry, and shout out to John Morant for making it. That man's been having an excellent season, and once again, no Valanciunas in this Grizzlies team is as good, if not better, than what they were last year. So that's a big time shout out to John Morant and that Grizzlies team, and truly unfortunate for Valanciunas, who doesn't make the starting 5 here when he's the best player on the Pelicans, consistent and dominant as heck. So man, oh man. But that is your starting 5, folks. John Morant, Steph Curry, Andrew Wiggins, Jokic, and LeBron James. Alrighty, that is all the NBA that we had to go over for today, but let's head over to what's going to happen tonight. 11 big games, tons of values to comb through and pick through. So let's see if we can find the best value. Let's hopefully not get fooled by any, mirage value here that looks good but isn't really good at the end of the day. So let's see what we get here. All right. Here we go. First game up of the night here. We get Pistons at the Magic. Pistons +3, Magic -3. Ooh, Magic -3. Interesting. I feel like I could be good with swallowing 3 points here for the Magic. Once again, Cole Anthony's not truly getting it done by himself. For the Magic, it's really a collective effort of everybody being real solid here. So swallowing 3 against the, not good Pistons team, let's make sure everybody's good. And we may take this value right off the rip. But here we go. For the Pistons, Kelly Olynyk is a game time decision. That's going to be a big uplift for that man if they can get him back. A nice big that can, shoot the 3 and all that. Jeremy Grant is still out, unfortunately. And Josh Jackson is a game time decision for the Pistons. For the Magic, what do we got? Markelle Fultz is a game-time decision. Jonathan Isaac is out. Michael Carter-Williams is still out like usual. So basically just the usual suspects out here for the Magic. Man, oh man, is this going to be the first time we bet on the Magic all season, folks? We're not going to officially lock it in. Let's see if there's any better value, because at the end of the day, they are still the Magic, okay? They're really not playing for anything at the current moment. They're playing to potentially have their moment a little bit later down the road in the season when everybody's making that final push to the top 10 seeds to potentially secure a playoff spot. So we'll keep this one in the back of our mind here, folks, and come back to it if we can't find anything better. So Magic -3, we will officially lock that in potentially at the end. Here we go. Next matchup up, we get Celtics at the Hawks, and okay, folks, I think I'm liking this one as well. Here we go. Celtics +1.5, Hawks -1.5. Like we just said when we talked about Trae Young, folks, this Hawks team is turning a corner. This is starting to kind of be the Hawks of last season. Let's double check here. I want to say it is a 5-game winning streak, but let's double check our number right here. We get a 5-game winning streak. Yes. Currently the 12th seed in the Eastern Conference. And the Boston Celtics, they are 7-3 in their last 10. They have started to kind of got it figured out as well here. Once again, we don't love how the Celtics are getting it done, but they are getting it done, so we can't overlook that and we can't knock that. So Celtics +1.5, Hawks -1.5 here. Let's check the ins and out. Everybody's good to go for the Celtics, and for the Hawks here, everybody's good to go for them as well. So this is going to be a big game, folks, a huge game to truly see which one is truly turning the corner. Is this going to be a competitive game right down to the wire, proving that both of these two teams are legitimate, or is one team going to blow the other one out and prove that that team that got blown out are the frauds here? So I think we're just going to sit back and watch this game to truly see who is the real deal and potentially who is the pretender here. But this is going to be a big gauge game right here, so we will stay away from it. And the line says that as well. Vegas doesn't really know who should be favored or all this. They give the home team -1.5 here because I'm sure Vegas is using this as a gauge game as well. So we won't try to outsmart Vegas here, and we'll just watch this game and see who is the real deal. Then we get the Lakers at the Hornets, and the Lakers, no thank you. They're on the back-to-back. We don't bet that. Then we get the Clippers at the Heat. Clippers +7.5, Heat -7.5. Alrighty, folks. You all know we got to bet on the kennel. Heat -7.5. Take it. Lock it in. I don't care who's out. I don't care who's playing. Y'all know the kennel is full, folks. If 2 dogs are no good to go, we've still got other dogs that are chomping at the bit to get on the floor and prove that this Heat team is truly the real deal. But, just for, shits and giggles, let's check the ins and outs here for this game. Here we go. For the Clippers, Paul George, Marcus Morris, and Kawhi Leonard are all out. And for the Heat, Kyle Lowry out. Jimmy Butler, a game-time decision. So no Jimmy Butler, or no Kyle Lowry confirmed. Jimmy Butler being a game-time decision. We know he can facilitate the floor. So if both of them are out, who's going to facilitate the floor? Well, either Tyler Hero or Duncan Robinson or somebody else will claw their way, bark their way into the starting lineup to get it done. So Heat minus 7.5. Y'all know we got to bet on our dogs. You think we're just going to leave our dogs hanging? Come on. Can I get a woof, please, folks? Heat minus 7.5. Doesn't matter how many we have to swallow. Now, this Clippers team, folks, they have been decently consistent here. But, how long is that going to last? And are they going to be able to face this dogs team? This Clippers team is starting to be, they're in kind of the pup stage right now. This Clippers team being competitive without Paul George, it's been very inspiring. I think they've been looking at the Heat and be like, hey, we can grow up to be those. The little pups of the Clippers be like, hey, we can grow up into big dogs. Dang, we're going to become big dogs. Well, let's pump the brakes just quickly. We got to see you be competitive in this game to truly see if this Clippers team can potentially become big dogs, but they are still in the pup phase, and this is going to be a great gauge for these pups and to see if they kind of get demolished by the big dogs of the kennel. But we're going to go Heat minus 7, folks. We got big time bet ability on this Heat team, swallowing 7.5. I think we're good with that. We'll see how the Clippers pups do against real big dogs, folks. We're taking the Heat minus 7.5. All right, next game up here, Nuggets at the Pelicans. Nuggets -4, Pelicans +4, and I got to give this Nuggets team tons of credit, folks. A 3-game winning streak, 7-3 in their last 10 because Jokic is he's dominating, and somehow that's becoming infectious, and the scraps of the Nuggets are truly getting it done here, winning games, so we shout out big time to that. Pelicans +4, let's see if that's great value. For the Nuggets, Will Barton is a game-time decision. And that's it. Just Will Barton, game-time decision. For the Pelicans, Brandon Ingram, game-time decision. Josh Hart, a game-time decision. I'm expecting those two players to play. We get Valanciunas all good to go here. So this is going to be a nice gauge game as well to see if this Nuggets team can compete against some good teams. This Pelicans team, starting, they're not really rising. They are kind of stagnant, middle-of-the-pack team here. Always a tough out. Pelicans getting +4. Nuggets -4. We'll stay away from this one. All around, Pelicans +4 I think is the better side of the play if you're looking to bet this game, but we will stay away from this. All right, then we get the Blazers at the Rockets. Blazers -3, Rockets +3. I am loving the Blazers here, folks. This Rockets team is absolutely dumpster, folks. We know this. They had +5 the other night against the Spurs, and they got absolutely demolished, and they were at home for that game. This Blazers team, folks, they are good with just Simons and McCollum. We can bet on that. We can root for that. That's high believability in just those two players alone, where the Rockets only have one good big, while the Blazers have Nurkic down low, so they'll be able to take care of business. So I think I'm loving the -3 here, but let's see the ins and outs. For the Blazers, Robert Covington is a game-time decision. Dennis Smith is a game-time decision as well, and Nasir Little is still out. For the Rockets, we get Christian Wood, a game-time decision. Kevin Porter, a game-time decision. And those are their two best players, so if they're out, no, that's going to be an easy win for this Blazers team. The spread only being Rockets +3 kind of tells me that those two players are going to play for the Rockets there. But I feel confident in this Blazers team, folks. Swallowing 3, that's not that much. Blazers on the road, we've got no problem betting on them. I'm loving it, folks. Yes, sir. Taking Blazers -3. All right, next game up, we get the Jazz at the Grizzlies. Ooh, two great teams competing here. Jazz, they've been a kind of not at full strength for a big while here. Jazz +4, Grizzlies -4. Let's see if everybody's good to go here for the Jazz. Rudy Gobert is out. Donovan Mitchell is a game-time decision with the concussion. So I'm expecting him, if he's game-time decision, he's going to probably be good for a concussion. Just probably, trending up, has to just pass that concussion test today, and he'll be good. So I'm expecting Donovan Mitchell to play here for the Jazz. And then for the Grizzlies, we get just Kyle Anderson, Dylan Brooks, and Tyus Jones all still out here for the Grizzlies. But Jazz +4 here, the depth here of the Jazz. This is going to be a big-time game for the Grizzlies, but I think it's going to be a close game down to the wire, and we get 4 points here for the Jazz. I think I'm loving that value there, folks. I'm betting the value right here. I'll take the +4 with the Jazz. All right, we're building it up, folks. We are building up this parlay. I'm loving it. Some great value tonight, and we still got 4 games. Let's see if we can beef it up a little bit more here. Next game up here, Pacers at the Thunder. Pacers -1, Thunder +1 here. We don't love this Pacers team, but we do like this Pacers team against bad teams, and this Thunder team is a bad team. So only having to swallow 1 here for the Pacers is fantastic, because I wouldn't even want to swallow 2 points with this team. So if we only have to swallow 1, that's pretty decent. For the Pacers, who do we got out? TJ McConnell out. And Sabonis is a game time decision. So hopefully Sabonis is back. They've missed him in the last 2 or 3 games here. And Malcolm Brogdon is also out for the Pacers. For the Thunder, everybody is good to go there. But they're just, once again, relying on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Luguentz Dort. So Pacers -1. We're going to stay away from this one. Like we said, we don't want to push anything. We are loving the Pacers' value, but at the end of the day, they are still the Pacers. There's still no bettability on this Pacers team. These are 2 bad teams. We will stay away from it, but, you know, if you are kind of going through betting the games today and you're like, yeah, I kind of like the Pacers, and you're hearing us be like, hey, you know, we like the Pacers as well, you take the Pacers. I don't think we're going to take them because, you know, classic Pacers will be classic Pacers, but overall, this is good value if you guys want to take that. So we will endorse that if y'all are kind of feeling the Pacers. We will not officially take this, though. All right, then we get the Bulls at the Spurs. Bulls +1 here. That's real interesting. Bulls +1, Spurs -1. Woo, there's got to be some outs here for the Bulls, no? Alex Caruso is out. Lonzo Ball is still out, but those are the usual suspects. And then for the Spurs, everybody's good to go here. So I don't love this one. I do love the Bulls here, but I don't know what Vegas is doing with this spread. This seems real suspicious to me. Like, this seems like magnificent. This seems like extremely fantastic, best value I may have seen all year long. Bulls +1 point? What is up with that? The Bulls have kind of been decent, you know, since they've lost Lonzo Ball and Alex Caruso, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, all getting it done. Kobe White getting it done. Down low, we get Vucevic, and they're +1 on the road against the Spurs. I know, what are we doing here with the Spurs? Why are they giving so much love to the Spurs team? They beat the Rockets. They beat the Thunder. They beat the Clippers the other night. Once again, the pups of the Clippers starting to learn potentially to be dogs. But, I mean, what are we getting here? They lost to the Grizzlies by 8. They lost to the 76ers by 6. They lost to the Nets by 15. So I guess they're keeping some games close here. Okay, I guess I have to advise to stay away from this game. I don't understand why the spread is like this. This should be like Bulls -5. Wow, this is interesting. Same thing with the Pacers. I think that's a little bit low for them, only being -1. So maybe Vegas knows something, folks. So I think we have to officially stay away from the Pacers game and the Bulls. I don't like the spread here, folks. Once again, Vegas being respectful, that's a sign to stay away. Stay away. That's not a sign of, oh, let me double down and bet my house on it. Wow, real interesting here, folks. And I don't like it. I don't like it, folks. So we won't push it. Once again, we've still got 4 decent selections here. But Bulls +1, it is calling me, folks. I'm not going to lie. This seems fantastic value, but I can't trust Vegas, so I guess we're just going to have to stay away from it. There could be some funkiness going on this Bulls game. Man, oh man, real interesting. That is real big-time interesting right there. All right, next game up here, we get the Timberwolves at the Suns. Timberwolves coming off the back-to-back, so we're staying away from this one. And then the last game of the night, we get the Knicks at the Bucks. Bucks -8.5, and I think I'll swallow that. This next team is not good, folks. Not good at all. For the Knicks, Derrick Rose is still out. Nerlens Noel is a game-time decision. For the Bucks, Brook Lopez is still out, and Grayson Allen's a game-time decision. So we're getting Drew Holiday all good to go for the Bucks. Their guards are going to be good, and this Bucks team is going to be just absolutely thrashing this Knicks team all game long. Down low, nobody can handle Giannis and Chris Middleton. And then, folks, don't even tell me the Knicks guards are good, folks. We've been knocking on them the entire year. So, Bucks -8.5. I know it's a lot of points to swallow here, but we'll swallow it. You got to swallow some points sometimes, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing. Bucks -8.5. Love it. Alrighty, so we have 5 that we like. We are going to take off the Magic -3. We're not going to take this one. We've got 4 other bets that we love way more than that. So this is what we are officially rocking with tonight, folks. Heat -7.5, Blazers -3, Jazz +4, and the Bucks -8.5. Loving all this value here tonight, folks. And once again, I have to advise to stay away from betting the Pacers and betting the Bulls. These values, more on the Bulls side, the value is big time crazy, and we're just staying away from the Pacers because at the end of the day, they will be classic Pacers. So Bulls, there's something wonky going on here. Something wonky. Alrighty, folks, that is all the NBA we had to go over for today. So now let's shift gears to the NFL. And before we get into our official picks here, I do want to kind of touch once again on the coaching changes and the coaching hires that have been going on and potentially going on as well. So let's start here with some coaching news and talk coaches here in the NFL, and seeing if these teams are making the right decision heading into the 2022-2023 season. So let's start here with the Broncos. We are going to hear from their general manager on why they hired Nathaniel Hackett. Now, the Broncos already have our kind of seal of approval, our 2 thumbs up on the hire. Offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett from the Green Bay Packers. Fantastic. We know this Packers offense has been looking great, and it's not just great because of Aaron Rodgers, folks. This running game has been the real deal. Running back by committee, the real deal. Aaron Jones, no good to go. That's fine. We got A.J. Dillon. This man has been fantastic over the last couple of years, just kind of being kind of the number 2 running back, and then whenever he needed to be elevated to the number 1, he was still getting great production. So that speaks to Nathaniel Hackett. He wasn't good because he was just passing the ball because he has one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. No. This offense was fantastic. Yes, with Aaron Rodgers, but also with the running game and everything else. I actually want to get these A.J. Dillon stats up here very quickly here. See what he's been doing just by the numbers here. Get a nice full look at these numbers by A.J. Dillon. So over the last 2 years, folks, getting it done. Year number 1, never started a game there, but had 242 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then he elevated that to 803 yards this season alone while getting 313 yards receiving. So their number 2 running back, over 1,000 yards production through the run and the receiving game with Aaron Jones. Let's get his official numbers up. Did Aaron Jones get over 1,000 yards? I believe he had. So that's the running game, folks. The running game alone getting all this great production. Aaron Jones numbers this season: 799 yards rushing and 391 yards receiving for a grand total of 1,190 yards. Both of these running backs had over 1,000 yards worth of production. That speaks big time to Nathaniel Hackett. Fantastic, great hire. But let's go and hear why did the general manager hire him? What is he saying about him? And let's see why we should be buying way more into Nathaniel Hackett and this Broncos team moving forward. So we'll get in the article here, but just a quick attention-grabbing tweet. Broncos general manager on hiring of Nathaniel Hackett says, quote, "In addition to having a brilliant offensive mind," and yes, absolutely, he got it done in the running game. That's fantastic. "Nathaniel is an outstanding teacher and communicator with a strong vision for all 3 phases of our team." Oh my goodness, that is checking all the boxes we love. What do we say as a head coach? They must be the true leader. They must be a leader. And he says Nathaniel is an outstanding teacher and communicator. Communication is so key. Brian Flores was not a communicator, folks. You saw him at the press conference. Always kind of, a little bit of head down, not really kind of going above and beyond, kind of soft voiced. Same thing with Adam Gase, and I know these 2 guys are just kind of popping up in my mind because when I watch them at the press conferences, I don't really see a great communicator, general manager George Patton is saying right here. Adam Gase at the press conference every single time, hat over his eyes, always looking down and just kind of, the offense, it wasn't that good today, but it wasn't on me. It was really all just on the players not executing. I put these players in the position to get it done, and they just didn't get it done. But that has nothing to do with me. I set them up for success here. Never looking at the media, never looking at anybody. So communication is such a great factor and a great attribute that is truly needed to be a successful head coach. So far we are loving Nathaniel Hackett here. How much more can we buy into this man? Let's quickly go into this article and read all these quotes. And there's a couple of them, folks, but that's fine. I want to know all I know. I want to know all I need to know about Nathaniel Hackett because I'm this close. I am this close, folks, of already naming the Broncos the next Super Bowl champion. I don't give a damn, okay? Oh, man. Ooh, I'm loving it already, but here we go. Let's get in this article and start reading some quotes here. So here we go. Hackett's hire is the first of 9 head coach openings to be filled. 9? Is there 9? I thought there was 7. What were the other 2? Sean Payton, I guess that would have been 8. What was the other one? Ravens. What? Ravens don't need one. Panthers. Are they just talking about hiring? Okay. Let's get off of that. We don't need to sidetrack on that. But here we go. Quote here by Broncos general manager George Patton. Here we go. Says, quote, Nathaniel Hackett is a dynamic leader and coach whose intelligence, innovation, and charisma impressed us from the very start of this process. Intelligence, innovation. Why you want a head coach that is offensive minded. This game is always evolving, always changing, especially over the last couple of seasons. I would say 5-7 years here where we've got this huge offensive explosion in the NFL. All the rules are benefiting the offense, the receivers. We're starting to get so much great consistent speed. Look at Tyreek Hill. Look at Cooper Kupp. Always able to get open here. Innovation offensively. What do you have if you have innovation on defense? Oh, Brian Flores called a perfect defensive play right there. It resulted in a turnover. And then the offense goes 3 and out. And they have to punt. Are they going to be able to do that back again defensively? No, because the offense just saw. They're like, oh, that's what they did. They dropped the corner, rushed the safety, and had the linebacker fill that spot. Oh, that's what they were doing. All right, yeah, that was great innovation. Thanks, but it's not going to work again. So you need it on the offensive side, folks. I'm truly not buying into these defensive-minded coaches at the head coaching position, folks. So this man's intelligent, innovative, and charisma. Everything you need at the head coaching position. I am loving it. Back to the quote here. Quote, in addition to having a brilliant offensive mind, Nathaniel is an outstanding teacher and communicator with a strong vision for all 3 phases for our team. Yes. Quote, getting to know Nathaniel over the last couple of weeks, he will bring positive energy and enthusiasm to the entire Denver Broncos organization as our head coach, creating a winning and competitive environment for the players, coaches, and staff. In doing it through personal connections and efficiency is a big part of his plan for the Broncos. From developing young players, Jerry Jeudy, yes sir, innovative with Jerry Jeudy. Was Vic Fangio doing anything innovative with Jerry Jeudy? I think Jerry Jeudy's overall production went way down this season. I don't even know if Jerry Jeudy had 1,000 yards receiving this year, which is absolutely, that's criminal that you did not get this man 1,000 yards. But let's double check these numbers quickly here. Jerry Jeudy, only 467 yards, and I know he only played 10 games, a little bit of injured there in the middle part of the season, but his production went way, way, way down, folks. Yards per reception was 16.5 last year, rookie year, and it went down to 12.3. There's no reason for that. Yes, your overall yards could go down because you missed 7 games, but I mean your yards per reception should have been the same. That just breaks it down to averages right there. So man, oh man, what in his catch percentage did go up, so we'll give him credit for that. But that's it. Production went all the way down. So that's something that definitely needs to be cleaned up and fixed. Vic Fangio was not getting it done. Defensive-minded guy, not getting it done. How many times have we seen this, folks? Man, oh man, loving it. All right, back to this one, though. Back to the quote. From developing young players to working with all-time greats as a key part of winning teams, Nathaniel has had tremendous success in this league. He's a student of the game and knows how to put players in positions to win. I could not be more excited to partner with Nathaniel and welcome him with his family, his wife, Megan, and children, Harrison, London, Briar, Everly. Damn. Okay, 4 kids. Man, doesn't know how to pull out. Okay, to the Denver Broncos. But man, oh man, I am loving everything that we've been hearing about Nathaniel Hackett, the perfect hire here for Denver. And let's quickly get up their depth chart here. We know they've got Melvin Gordon. We're not the biggest supporters of Melvin Gordon, but if you just made Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon both work together, I'm sure he could get great production out of Melvin Gordon here. But who is their number 2 running back? I think it's somebody decent. What do we got here? Let's double check. Javonte Williams. Oh my God. Rookie Javonte Williams, who had a really good season. 903 yards, folks. Yes, and he's got some nice speed under him. So Javonte Williams, face of the future here for the Denver Broncos. I would probably expect maybe Melvin Gordon to kind of be maybe traded for another decent running back, a little bit of a younger running back that Nathaniel Hackett can truly work with. So this team is truly primed, folks. Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Tim Patrick, Noah Fant at the tight end position. They've got great receivers. They've got a great running back in Javonte Williams. The quarterback is truly going to be what defines Nathaniel Hackett. We'll see what he does. Does he think he can make Teddy Bridgewater work? Does he think he can make Drew Lock work? But overall, these great pieces here offensively are truly going to help Nathaniel Hackett turn this Broncos team around pretty quickly. Expect this team to really be competing in the AFC West. You know, they've got the Chiefs and the Raiders. It's tough, but I think Nathaniel Hackett can truly turn it around quickly here. Big time belief from the general manager. Fantastic. So that's who we've got for the Broncos here. Nathaniel Hackett, this is a home run hire, folks. If you're a Broncos fan, you should be jumping up and down here. The future is bright in Denver, folks. Yes, sir. Nathaniel Hackett is here. Love it. Love it. And now let's hear from the other side. What we don't love at first, but let's see, maybe they can buy us. I mean, once again, George Patton right here, all these quotes that we read, I mean, now we're buying 100%. So first, we don't love the Bears hiring defensive coordinator. What's his name? Matt Alvarez. We don't love that, but let's hear from the general manager. Let's hear from the coach. Let's see what their plan is. Let's see if we can buy into them a little bit here and see if they have a plan. And once again, I think they're doing Justin Fields a big disservice from going to Matt Nagy, who already ruined him, to a defensive coordinator who's not going to be innovative in helping out Justin Fields from that perspective. So let's first hear from general manager and why he hired Matt Alvarez, and then we'll hear from Matt Alvarez about what he's saying about this Bears team and what he kind of plans to do. So here we go. New Bears general manager Ryan Poles on new Bears head coach Matt Alvarez says, quote, his experience, passion, character, and attention to detail made him the right man for both the job and the culture we intend to establish here at Halas Hall. So alrighty, establishing the culture. I'm so over that. Let's establish the culture. Okay, can we establish winning as well, just instead of just getting the culture down? You know how many times, general managers bring in a coach and be like, oh, they're here to establish culture, but it's still losing. It's a losing culture that you're establishing. It's going to be a good, probably defensive culture, but the Dolphins just had a great defensive culture for the last 2 seasons, and what happened? Not making the playoffs, not pulling out, not getting it done in the big games, letting the Bills absolutely destroy the Dolphins offense both times. That really resulted in the Dolphins not being able to make the playoffs. So I still don't love it, folks. And I don't love this opening quote that we wrote that he's just trying to establish a culture here. Did Did Broncos general manager George Patton say anything about establishing a culture here in Denver? There's no culture there in Denver, folks. It's a free-for-all. They've established nothing over the last 2 seasons. We still don't have a quarterback. The wide receivers never got better. There's still no culture there in Denver, but did George Patton only hire Nathaniel Hackett because he was going to change the culture alone? No, the innovation, the offensive brilliance of Nathaniel Hackett. Screw the culture. The culture's going to come with winning. When we all win, that's when the culture is going to be established because it's a winning culture at that point. So, oh man, some teams, folks, I just don't think they get it. But here we go. Let's read some more here on why they really hired this man. Here we go. First quote. Let's read the lead up here. The Chicago Bears are working to hire Matt Eberflus as their next head coach. The NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport reported Thursday. Per source, a team informed him of the decision. The team later announced the hiring. Says, quote, I couldn't be more excited to have Matt become the next head coach of the Chicago Bears. This is from general manager Ryan Poles. Quote, his experience, passion, character, and attention to detail made him the right man for both the job and the culture we intend to establish here at Halas Hall. Throughout the search, Matt impressed me when detailing his vision and plan for our team. We look forward to getting to work and assembling a top-notch staff and roster that will help us consistently compete for championships. I would like to thank Ryan and McCaskey and the McCaskey family for this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to leave the Bears. This is Eberflus now, to leave the Chicago Bears, one of the most storied franchises in all of sports and one of the greatest cities in the world. I am truly humbled and honored to be named your head coach, and together we will do everything in our power to bring a Super Bowl championship back to Chicago. That's what they're saying? What is there to celebrate? What they're saying here? This is just general boilerplate stuff right here. That's not what George Patton was saying. We were gushing over every single word that was coming out of that man's mouth. Hey, he impressed me because of his direction that he wants to put the team in. Well, what's the direction with Justin Fields? Is he just going to ignore him? And you'll be, oh, yeah, we'll just let the offense do whatever it does because the defense is going to bring it. The defense is going to be great. We've seen this story too many times, folks. The defense. Yeah, but that doesn't win at the end of the day, folks. You need a competent offense. And heading into the season with Andy Dalton, Nick Foles, and Justin Fields, what's the plan there? So I would love to know the plan. Obviously, they're not going to tell us the plan. The skull is going to stay in-house. Obviously, you're not going to give any of that information to these other teams in the NFL, your rivals, all that. But all right, we're going to hold both of these guys to it. They said they've got a plan. The last time we heard they have a plan, that was Matt Nagy. How did that plan work out, right? That was probably one of the worst plans I've ever seen. So I'm still not loving it, folks. I really cannot endorse this. This gets no thumbs up. This gets no seal of approval from us over here. Absolutely not. And is this the only quote here we get by Matt Eberflus? Is this all we have to read? Is that he's going to change the culture and bring a title back to Chicago? Same quote? Oh my goodness. Alrighty, so that's Matt Eberflus, folks. He's going to bring a title back to Chicago. What every single head coach promises and none deliver. All right, if y'all want to keep making the same mistakes over and over again, I would actually love to see what Matt Nagy said, because I'm almost positive he said he's going to bring a title here to Chicago. Let me see. I'm going to quickly try to Google this. We'll go over this quickly. If I can't find it quickly, folks, we won't spend too much time. Matt Nagy opening press conference. Can we get this? I just want to read what Matt Nagy said when they first brought him on. That's what I want to know. Matt Nagy, opening press conference, nothing really coming up here, because I guaranteed he probably said word for word exactly what Matt Eberflus just said right here. Hey, I'm grateful for the opportunity. I've got a plan, and I'm going to bring a title back to this historic city of Chicago that's had so much great success way early on in the NFL. Matt Nagy hired, let me go to this. Matt Nagy hired as Bears head coach. Let's quickly see if we bring up any articles from 2014. Yes, I'm not doing Matt Eberflus. You don't have to correct me. Here we go. Matt Nagy hired as Bears head coach to replace John Fox. So we get any quote here by Matthew Nagus. Matthew Nagus, where are your quotes? What are you saying here? Doesn't seem like I'm going to be able to bring it up quickly, folks. How truly unfortunate. I'll try to find that for tomorrow's show. We'll revisit it. We get anything else here? Anything else? They hired this man exactly January 8th, 2018. So they did it kind of a little bit earlier. So they hired Matt Nagy real kind of early on when their season ended. At least I guess if we give any credit to the Bears here, they took a little bit more time to hire Matt Eberflus. They kind of hired him about 20 extra days later. So I guess they put a little bit more time, effort into truly researching their candidates here. So I guess that's the only green flag we could really give on the Bears there, but truly not buying into this man at all, folks. But I can't wait to see this Broncos team next season. Absolutely. Alrighty, what other head coaching news do we have here? It seems like the Giants are going to probably be the next team to hire a coach here, and we've been hearing that Brian Dabo was pretty much locked up as the head coach here, and we really loved that because that was kind of the offensive coordinator, fantastic, getting better with Josh Allen every single year here. We heard from one of the co-owners of the Giants earlier last week saying, hey, we've done everything to screw up Daniel Jones. So you bringing in Brian Dabo is truly you putting where your money is, putting your money where your mouth is. Hey, we've got Leslie Frazier, defense coordinator. We got Brian Dabo, offense coordinator. We've already ruined Daniel Jones, but we're going to hire the offense coordinator. We're finally going to get it going because you had him with the special teams guy. You had... who was their offensive coordinator? Man, oh man, why do I always blank on this dude's name? He's just so milquetoast, he's never remembered, folks. Oh man, it drives me crazy when Jason Garrett. They had Jason Garrett as their offensive coordinator. Once again, he is a little bit of an offensive guy, but never kind of fantastic, never, always kind of underperformed with the Cowboys and all that. So you never really gave this man a great offensive mind. And now we're kind of hearing that they're kind of leaning towards a little bit more towards Leslie Frazier, because we get these tweets right here. The finalists for the New York Giants head coaching job are Brian Dabo and Leslie Frazier. Then we get this, the New York Giants, who were in the driver's seat with Brian Dabo, could be shifting focus now to Leslie Frazier, because Brian Dabo is kind of getting reported saying that he prefers the cap situation of the Miami Dolphins in working with Tua. So it seems like the Giants had Brian Dabo, and it seems like it's shifting now to Leslie Frazier, and it's just mind-boggling. Why switch? You had the right guy, Brian Dabo, and you even had the new general manager saying we'll build an offense to accentuate what Daniel does best. So that would be getting Brian Dabo, offensive-minded coach at the head coaching position, to help out Daniel Jones. All this talk right here of the Giants saying, hey, we're going to make Daniel Jones good. We've done everything to ruin him, so we kind of owe it to him to, make this man good again. But then you're going to go with Leslie Frazier, a defensive guy, after you just went from a special teams guy? I just don't get what the Giants are doing here, folks. It seems like nonsense. They better get Brian Dabo, lock him down when you can, but it seems like that's not going to be happening. So Daniel Jones, I feel so sorry for the kid. Seems like he could be fantastic. A little bit of the same build as Josh Allen. I think Daniel Jones is 6'4". Let's get this up. I think he's like 6'4", 220. Where Josh Allen's like 6'5", 230. Daniel Jones, 6'5", 221. And let's get Josh Allen right up comparison. He's definitely 6'5". We know this. And I think Josh Allen's about like 10, 15 pounds beefier. Josh Allen, 6'5", 237. So yeah, he's got about 16 pounds on Daniel Jones, but kind of same build, can potentially be, the same quarterback. We know Daniel Jones can run the ball. This would be a perfect fit for Brian Dabo. You go from Josh Allen to kind of the same overall physicality-wise, physically wise, quarterback. Obviously, Josh Allen has proven he can get it done. We have not seen that really at all by Daniel Jones. But once again, you got special teams guys, your head coach, you got Jason Garrett, milquetoast, and then Freddie Kitchens as, the one that kind of finished out the rest of the season here. So it's just like, I don't understand what this Giants team is doing. They're making a huge mistake if they're now targeting Leslie Frazier instead of Brian Dable. They should have been full steam ahead on Brian Dable since day one. That's the best fit here for this Giants team. And now the last thing that we've heard, that they're shifting focus to Leslie Frazier, who blew the game, who blew a playoff game. That's who you want to rely on here. So everybody's just talking nonsense here, just talking to kind of silence the media. The co-owner saying, hey, we want to kind of do what's right for Daniel Jones. The new general manager who they just hired said, yeah, we're going to build an offense around this man. Well, the offense is already kind of built around this man. The line is decently there. You've got so many pieces offensively, weapons-wise. Saquon Barkley. So the offense is already put. Can we get a great offensive coordinator and a great offensive-minded head coach to support this man? He's got no support. You can put whatever weapons you want around any good quarterback, but it's all for naught if you don't have the support, the trust, the innovation, the believability, the backability from your head coach. Giants, please, for the love of goodness, please do not hire Leslie Frazier and lock up Brian Dable whenever you can. What the hell is going on here, folks? Man, oh man. This Giants team, folks, they'll always be classic Giants being trash, folks. So, we'll see, but it's seeming like they're now focusing Leslie Frazier. We'll see how that goes for them. All right, what else do we get here? We get the Dolphins. All right, another team that's looking for a head coach. And what have we been saying? Offensive minded here. And that seems like the direction the Dolphins are planning to do. We get this tweet right here. This is from Ian Rappaport, folks. The Dolphins plan to have second interviews early next week, sources said, as they continue their search for a head coach. Despite the flurry of activity today, no rush in Miami. And then Ian Rappaport follows up that tweet saying, among the names expected to receive a second interview from the Dolphins, Cowboys offensive coordinator Kellen Moore, 49ers offensive coordinator Mike McDaniel, and Bills offensive coordinator Brian Dable. Offense. So the Dolphins are truly moving in the right direction. I don't love Kellen Moore. I don't want to knock him, but this Cowboys offense has not been as good as it really should be, folks. That Cowboys offense is so freaking stacked. They got running back by committee. You got kind of the powerhouse in Ezekiel Elliott. You got Tony Pollard. You got one of the top 5 best wide receivers in the league of Amari Cooper. You've got CeeDee Lamb, and once again, CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott, they never look fantastic with each other. So why is that relationship never truly blossoming and being absolutely fantastic? They have started to use Dalton Schultz a lot more at the back end of the season, so that's potentially another green flag for Kellen Moore. But I think this Cowboys offense has just been underperforming of really what they truly should have been doing the entire year. And then the big flounder in the playoff game, all of that. So I don't love Kellen Moore, but we'll see what happens there. Mike McDaniel, offensive coordinator for the 49ers. I really have started to like this guy. I'm seeing him on social media all the time. Seems like a great guy overall, loosey-goosey, a player's coach and all that, and that's exactly what we love. Brilliant offensive mind, a true innovator at the position. So I truly do endorse Mike McDaniel. That'd be a fantastic hire. And then, Brian Dable. We didn't really love him. His name was truly brought up in the beginning of the season here. Even last season, everyone was kind of clamoring over Brian Dable, being like, he's going to be the next big guy. Like, he's going to be fantastic. I didn't really see it, but then we saw this Bills offense in the playoffs, and it was being aggressive, and that was one of the knocks that we had on Sean McDermott and Brian Dable being super conservative in the playoffs and all that, and not letting Josh Allen do it all, even though we know we could do it all. So the trust that Brian Dable has had in Josh Allen, how their offense has truly just been getting better and better and better and better every year, every game throughout the season and all that. I would kind of endorse Brian Dabo now, so I have kind of come around on Brian Dabo. So either Mike McDaniel, Brian Dabo, still got Doug Peterson waiting in the wings. It's seeming like he's not going to get the leftovers, but he's, definitely doing his due diligence, and, he's not going to rush into anything, Doug Peterson. So we'll see what happens with Doug Peterson. Once again, it seems like his name's not being thrown around any, and it definitely should. But Mike McDaniel, Brian Dabo, I think are great options for a head coaching spot. Kellen Moore, I think I want to see a little bit more and maybe just be an offensive coordinator or something. I don't know if he's going to be a great coach, but we'll see what happens here. He's getting interviewed. We just heard from Jerry Jones, I think today. I don't have the tweet up, but I did see the tweet about Jerry Jones kind of saying, yeah, I truly want Kellen Moore back, like 100%. Like he's kind of our guy over here. So Jerry Jones believes in him, but does that give us any faith? Jerry Jones, he hasn't done anything great recently. He hired Mike McCarthy as their head coach. It's like his decision making is not top notch. It's not. We should be following and kind of waiting on every single breath from Jerry Jones and seeing what he has to say, right? So I'm loving Mike McDaniel, offensive coordinator for the 49ers. Brian Dabo, offensive coordinator for the Bills. I'm all about both those guys, and we'll see what the Dolphins decide to do, but it seems like they're going offensive, and hey, building behind Tua, showing the confidence in Tua, and when Tua has all the confidence behind him, I think he's going to surprise a lot of people, honestly. So once again, the head coach quarterback connection needs to be there, folks, truly. And yeah, let's talk about that for a second. The head coach quarterback relationship, because we just kind of get a little bit of a 180 a little bit right here. Where's this tweet at? Kyle Shanahan, and it's now kind of truly endorsing Jimmy Garoppolo. And, once again, going back into the early part of the season, off-season, Kyle Shanahan saying, of course, Trey Lance is going to play. He's going to be the guy at some point. Jimmy Garoppolo, yeah, he's our guy right now, but never kind of giving that 100% confidence backing Jimmy Garoppolo. But now we get this quote by Kyle Shanahan on Jimmy Garoppolo saying, quote, Jimmy is one of the main reasons we're here. He's done an unbelievable job. People don't give him enough credit. So the head coach quarterback combo here, this is going to be big for Jimmy Garoppolo, getting the full support from Kyle Shanahan heading into one of the biggest games of Jimmy Garoppolo's career. We can't say biggest because he's already been in a Super Bowl and had a lead at halftime, unfortunate, but one of the biggest games for Jimmy Garoppolo here, and now Kyle Shanahan is truly coming around on him. This is going to be big, big, big for Jimmy Garoppolo here heading into the Rams game this week. So head coach, quarterback connection, relationship, whatever you want to call it, must be so freaking solid. Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, Sean Payton, Drew Brees, Mike Tomlin, Ben Roethlisberger, Zach Taylor, Joe Burrow now. And I know it's only 2 years, but this is like we're starting to kind of head into kind of like hyper drive in the NFL. We don't need 4 or 5 years of rebuilding. You can turn around a team in 2 years flat, folks, with Joe Burrow coming off a gruesome, devastating injury. We don't need this old school mentality of let's build the foundation, let's build a culture. Exactly, oh my goodness, exactly what this Bears team is doing. Let's establish a culture. Can we establish? No, you don't need to establish the wins. Can we all win and be good? Then the culture can come be second when everybody's happy and winning. That's when the culture truly gets implemented. No, there's going to be no culture, folks, if everybody's losing. There's going to be anger in the locker room. There's going to be distrust in the locker room. There's going to be finger pointing, and the foundation that you try to lay is never going to stick if you're losing games. Stop with this garbage boilerplate answer of we just want to build a foundation. Stop it. Once again, did anybody from the Broncos, the general manager, Nathaniel Hackett, say anything about building the foundation? No, because they know you don't need to. Genius, brilliant offensive minds right here. Stop with the foundation, folks. I don't care about a foundation. Can we win games? Man, you don't need it anymore, folks. That's like 1980s, 1990s, early 2000s thinking. Evolve with the times, please. Once again, why we want offensive-minded coaches, because the game is to the offense now. Like it or not, that's what it is. All the rules are favoring the offense. Like it or not, we're getting big-time 25 points scored in the final 2 minutes of the divisional round. We're not even in the AFC Championship game yet, and these teams are going 25 points plus in the final 2 minutes of the fourth quarter, and now y'all want the overtime rules changed so every team, every offense can touch the ball. Y'all hate it when the defense gives up a touchdown. The defense, why are you hiring defensive-minded head coaches if you don't even care about the defense in overtime and it's only about the offense? Do you kind of see what we're trying to say, folks? Damn! I don't understand why it's not all clear to everybody. I'm not saying you have to believe everything that we're saying and buy into everything that we're saying 100%. Yes, there's always exceptions to the rule, but if you want to talk about foundation, that's the foundation. Offense is the foundation to everything. Everything, folks. Jeez. I just don't get it, folks. I just don't get sometimes what y'all are saying and thinking and what these general managers are thinking and saying. Don't get it. Somebody give me a head coaching job, please. Jeez. I'm throwing my hat in the ring. Dolphins, call me up. Saints, call me up. I can turn around your organization in 2 years flat. You'll get a ring. Jeez. Woo! Man. All right, let's calm down a little bit. Man, I'm just saying, folks. That's all I'm saying, folks. Do y'all understand what I'm just trying to say? I'm just trying to say out here, folks. Woo! All righty. Where do we leave off? I don't even know anymore. What do we got up next here? We went over this. Alrighty, here we go. So the new head coaches for the Dolphins, potentially, we kind of like most of them. And then we get this right here quickly. This has nothing to do with the head coach, but still something good for the Dolphins here. Calvin Ridley, wide receiver for the Falcons, who's absolutely spectacular. Another reason probably why you want like an offensive-minded coach at the head coaching position to attract offensive talent, right? Because we get Calvin Ridley on Twitter liking a tweet that says, I really hope the Miami Dolphins get Calvin Ridley. He actually did he like it? Did he retweet and like it? Interesting. Either way, he liked it or retweeted it on Twitter. So, you get an offensive-minded guy that brings in Calvin Ridley. We have Calvin Ridley, Jalen Waddle with Tua. I definitely think that could work with the brilliant minds of Mike McDaniel, Brian Dabo. So, we'll see how that plays out as well. Next one up here, the New Orleans Saints plan to interview former head coach of the Dolphins, Brian Flores. Once again, defensive-minded head coach, not the greatest. We saw how that worked out with Tua. Brian Flores never truly trusts his quarterback, and if he's going to the Saints that currently has Jameis Winston, Trevor Siemian, Taysom Hill, I think Brian Flores is going to be bashing some quarterbacks. Get these garbage quarterbacks out of my face. What are you doing? We can't win a ring with these guys. What are you doing? So, I don't know if I like that, but we'll see what happens here with the Saints. Just as of recently, Sean Payton obviously retires and all that, so they're a little bit behind the curve on getting a head coach, but don't rush into anything. Once again, this could be a great fit for Doug Peterson as well. Saints kind of, all right, we didn't get kind of the jump on Brian Dabo. We didn't get the jump on Mike McDaniel. We didn't get the jump on Kellen Moore. Doug Peterson still waiting in the wings here, so watch out for Doug Peterson to go to the Saints here, folks. And then the last one right here, we get Josh McDaniels, offensive coordinator for the Patriots. And I would say that Josh McDaniels is kind of like the OG Eric Bieniemy, the OG Brian Dabo, where every single year, every fan base and the coaches are gushing and clamoring over these two great offensive minds, Eric Bieniemy of the Chiefs and Brian Dabo of the Bills. Josh McDaniels, obviously, offensive coordinator for the Patriots, winning rings with Tom Brady, from Bill Belichick, all that. And we saw that Josh McDaniels was very, very close of taking the Colts job when Andrew Luck was the quarterback, pulled out last second. Andrew Luck decides to retire. Seemed like Josh McDaniels saw that happening or heard this could potentially be happening. And, so he stays with the Patriots. We've got no problem with that. Once again, Eric Bieniemy, I know he could be a great head coach, and I know he probably should be a head coach, but once again, not being the guy, building something. I mean, what they've got in Kansas City is absolutely brilliant, folks. 4 straight AFC Championship games. Why leave that? Eric Bieniemy is still getting credit. Obviously, not as much credit as, Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, but he's still getting a ton of credit there for the offense that has been carrying the Chiefs for the last 4 years, winning rings, getting the Super Bowls. It's like, why leave that? You've built something so special there in Kansas City. I don't know if you leave that in its prime. If Eric Bieniemy wants to wait like 5-6 years, kind of like what Josh McDaniels has been doing, now that there's no more Tom Brady, there's really nothing keeping you there in New England. So yeah, now Josh McDaniels should probably get a head coaching job somewhere. But Eric Bieniemy, man, stay where you've got it. You've got it made in Kansas City. You're so great. You're such genius, and you've got these great players. If you go to any other team, regardless of who it is, your offensive pieces are going to be nowhere near Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce and all that. Plus, you got, the great free agent market. Everybody wants to go to Kansas City now because they're winning and so consistent, and the head coach quarterback relationship is so freaking solid, and that's infectious. And Andy Reid just lets Patrick Mahomes just play football, play loosey-goosey. Receivers obviously want that, and being a player's coach and all that. So we love Eric Bieniemy, obviously, but do you need to be the guy? I really hope you don't need to be the guy. If you want to be the guy, you go ahead and be the guy. I'm not going to stop anybody from being the guy, but you're building something absolute. I mean, we'll be talking. This is a dynasty, folks. Absolutely, we'll be talking about this Chiefs team like we talk about the Patriots if they keep it going, which it seems no signs of slowing down or unless Eric Bieniemy truly does leave. So, all right, we'll see what happens there. But back to Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels on possibly being the Raiders head coach. Mike Giardi of ESPN, I believe, on Twitter says, I can tell you both sides have vetted each other, McDaniels and the Raiders. They have vetted each other thoroughly, and belief from league sources that I've spoken to is that Josh has rebuffed other job openings during this hiring period. So him to take this interview with the Raiders shows how serious he is. So it truly seems like Josh McDaniels is either going to the Raiders or sticking with the Patriots. So we'll see how this goes. Once again, Josh McDaniels inches away from being the head coach of the Colts with Andrew Luck, pulls out last second. We'll see how close he gets to this Raiders job and if he actually takes it or not. But seems like he's only going to the Raiders if he's going somewhere with a solid established quarterback, Derek Carr, Andrew Luck of the Colts. Andrew Luck coming off the injury, and once again, him retiring, 1 year later. Josh McDaniels probably, conversed with him and was like, hey, can you be real with me? And Andrew Luck was like, yeah, I'll be real with you, and that was not looking good, and then he went back to the Patriots. So we'll see how he feels about Derek Carr, if that's truly, good or not. Does Josh McDaniels want to handle the headache of the players playing in Vegas? We saw how that has played out this season. The City of Sin truly made these players commit every single sin that there is. So we'll see how this works out, but Josh McDaniels to the Raiders is something to keep your eye on. Alrighty, so that is all the coach talk we have needed to talk about. So now let's get to it, folks. We've got games on this weekend, or just one day. Truly unfortunate. That's, the price we pay of getting deeper in the playoffs, folks. Less and less games, less and less days. Obviously, truly unfortunate. But if they're anything like last week's games, yes, sir, we'll take 2. I don't give a damn. So let's head over and make our official picks for the AFC and NFC championship games. Championship Sunday coming up, folks. Man, oh man. We've got 2 games. We're picking both. And man, oh man, I really was hoping these lines have changed over the last hour and 18 minutes since we've been live, because oh man, like I said at the top of the show, folks, these lines are so gosh dang Ooh, they're set almost perfectly, folks. Almost perfectly. It's truly tough to decide. But like we said as well, we're going to get to the bottom of it. We're going to be on the right side. We're going to take Vegas to the cleaners, and we're going to beat them at their own game. Vegas setting these lines, so it's truly, man, oh man, what side is the better value? But we're going to come out on top. I can guarantee that, folks. So let's get into it. Let's start with the AFC Championship game, 3 o'clock on Sunday. Bengals at the Chiefs, folks. Bengals +7, Chiefs -7. Really was kind of hoping for this line to maybe shift. Chiefs -6.5 here. Y'all are betting Chiefs -7 here. We see that because the odds are Chiefs -7 at -120, Bengals +7 at +100. So the public money so far is on the Chiefs -7, and I agree, folks. I do agree. Chiefs -7 here. Once again, this is anything that we say here is no knock or disrespect, any sort of slight here on Joe Burrow. What he has done this season is absolutely brilliant, magnificent, and needs to be talked about and cheered for the rest of time. Folks, coming off that injury and getting to the AFC Championship game, it could not be any better here for Joe Burrow. But, and you know, I hate to play into this narrative, but I think it could come up this week, the experience narrative. The experience. You need experience in the playoffs. Bengals not even knowing what an AFC Championship game is. They just know wild card. They're like, hang on, there's another round after this? We just won the wild card. We're not Super Bowl champions yet? There's another round, divisional? Oh, okay. Well, we won the divisional round. We're Super Bowl champions. Yeah, Jamar Chase. Yeah, we've done it. We're champions. Woo! And the Chiefs are like, no, you're coming to us. But and the Bengals are like, hey, another game? We just won 2 playoff games. You're telling me we have to win 3 playoff games here? And then the NFL's like, no, you gotta win 4. If you win this one, then you go to the game. And the Bengals are like, whoa, blowing their mind. But the Chiefs, knowing the AFC Championship game 4 straight times, Andy Reid at home, the experience factor is truly going to play a big part into it. So let's go back to last year's AFC Championship game. Bills at the Chiefs, folks. And what happened in this game? Josh Allen played really good, and I want to watch these highlights by Josh Allen in a minute here, but going back to last year's AFC Championship game, the Bills, they looked good. They put up 24 points, but still lost by 14 points with Josh Allen going 28 of 48, which seems about like, it may be borderline 60. Let me get this completion percentage up quickly. 28 of 48 last year. That's 58%. That's not the best, but threw for 287 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did throw a pick. Josh Allen running 7 times for 88 yards, truly getting it done, and still came up short. The Bills scored. Field goal on their first possession, touchdown on the third possession, got up 10-0 or 9-0. They missed the extra point, but that did not face the Chiefs at all. 21 points in the second quarter, just like that, and that truly kind of killed the spirit of the Bills. Now the Bills and the Chiefs face this year. Still a closer game, but the Chiefs, final 13 seconds, that's all they need. So we love Joe Burrow. We love Jamar Chase. We love Joe Mixon. We love Zach Taylor. They're all brilliant, but so were the kind of the Bills last year. 13-3. Josh Allen playing out of his mind. 69% completion percentage for the entire season. But going into the Chiefs, going into Kansas City in the AFC Championship game is just a little bit of a different beast that I don't know if the Bengals are ready to play in. Last week they almost lost to the Chiefs, folks. They still only won by 3 points, or the Titans, excuse me. They only won by 3 points, and that was with Ryan Tannehill turning over the ball 3 times. Do we think that Patrick Mahomes is going to turn over the ball 3 times? Maybe 1, maybe, because we've seen, the Chiefs give up some turnovers that really aren't on Patrick Mahomes' fault, just the receivers not bringing in the ball. So I want to just quickly watch these Josh Allen highlights, Josh Allen's best plays against the Chiefs, and we're going to go through this quickly, folks. 3 minutes here, probably not going to watch it all, but let's just see, is this what Joe Burrow's been doing? What a great slant right there, 15 yards on 2nd and 9, targeting Cole Beasley. That was absolutely phenomenally on the point, and we know Joe Burrow can do this. Joe Burrow's been phenomenal this entire year, making big throws. Even Josh Allen was phenomenal in that Chiefs game, but at the end of the day, it still was not enough, and they lose by 6 at the end of the day with Josh Allen playing absolutely magnificent. Here we go on 4th and 1, picking up a 4th down on their first drive. Sean McDermott happy clapping. Yes, sir. The energy is there by the Bills. They're up 3-0. Josh Allen running out of the pocket here, running downfield. Now, Joe Burrow does not have this in his game. Joe Burrow can't even escape the pocket. We've seen this the last 2 weeks, getting sacked 9 times against the Titans. If Josh Allen got sacked 9 times last week, that game's not competitive. You know how many times Josh Allen escaped the pocket on a crucial 3rd or 4th down to extend the play with his legs or just his vision, slinging the ball? I mean, they would have put up probably 7 points throughout the entire game if Josh Allen was getting sacked as much as Joe Burrow was last week. So we take out the running game by Joe Burrow. He does not have a running game, so Joe Burrow's arm is going to have to do everything. Jamar Chase's speed is going to have to do everything, and at bare minimum, if they play flawlessly like the Bills did, it's still probably going to be a 6-point overtime loss. So, if you want to take the 7 with the Bengals plus 7, you're probably thinking it's going to go into overtime. It's going to go into overtime, and that you can't lose by 7 in overtime. Well, I guess you can. You get the 3, and then you get the pick 6, but that will never happen because whoever's getting the pick 6 will just go down immediately to ice the game. But I think that may be the only play for the Bengals if you're taking them plus 7. You're hoping that it goes into overtime. And for that, I don't know if that's something to truly bet on. That seems a little bit too specific to truly bet on. But here we go, down 12 in the 3rd quarter. Josh Allen making a beautiful throw here. Oh my God, falling or backpedaling with defenders barreling down on him, staying cool, calm, collected in the pocket, and then just firing off of that back foot with his great arm strength, getting it to Cole Beasley for a 1st down to try to keep it competitive as they're down 12 points midway through the 3rd quarter. Joe Burrow, his pocket escapability and his pocket kind of, falling back, I don't think he's going to be as good as Josh Allen was in this game. And once again, they still lost by 14 last year. This is a different beast that I don't know if Joe Burrow and this Bengals offense is ready to tackle. I believe this Bengals team can put up points, and I think they can be decently competitive. But at the end of the day here, whatever the Bengals do offensively, the Chiefs will be able to answer. We saw that all last week against the Bills. Now, another big factor here is Tyrann Mathieu. Once again, the safety. Once again, why did the Bengals have all that success when they faced the Chiefs early on the season? We just watched it yesterday. Joe Burrow's one-on-one matchups with Jamar Chase. And we actually get this tweet right here, and this was fantastic. Do I have this saved? Joe Burrow. We got a Patrick Mahomes one. Joe Burrow. Let me get up the Joe Burrow tweet. There's 2 other tweets I truly want to talk about that show how great Tyrann Mathieu and how great Patrick Mahomes are. But I want to get to this Joe Burrow tweet quickly here. Joe Burrow, here we go. Joe Burrow on having to call plays against the Titans. Yes, he had to call some plays there. Joe Burrow says, quote, "The headset did go out. I had to call 3 or 4 plays on my own. All of them worked." And I'm sure those plays that he called were, the deep shots one-on-one to Jamar Chase. And those were fantastic. But the Chiefs know they got beat by that last week or a couple of weeks ago when they faced week 17, I believe it was. But Tyrann Mathieu double teaming Jamar Chase is what's going to happen. And what happens when that happens? Is Joe Burrow still going to be able to fit the ball in that tight window to Jamar Chase? Is he going to go to T. Higgins on the one-on-one matchup? Or is he just going to try and force the ball to Jamar Chase? So Joe Burrow calling plays here, fantastic. But it was to Jamar Chase, 50-50, and Jamar Chase is fantastic. He can win the matchups. Once again, I'm not knocking Jamar Chase. He's absolutely spectacular. Best rookie receiver that there is in the league, absolutely. But with Tyrann Mathieu on him, and those big plays don't hit, the Bengals don't win that game, folks. If all those shots down the field one-on-one with Jamar Chase don't connect, they don't win that game, and it's not really that competitive. They probably lose by more than 7. And then we get this by Patrick Mahomes, and this is like psychopathic, folks. Like, Patrick Mahomes may be a psychopath, folks. So, Patrick Mahomes wearing a whoop, which is kind of like I think it's a ring that kind of tracks every your vitals in your body and all that, kind of like an Apple Watch. It takes it records everything about your body. So Patrick Mahomes, his average heart rate was 144 beats per minute during the game, but it was higher. His heart rate was higher when the Bills had the ball, and it dropped. His heart rate dropped when he was on the field. That's ice in the veins by Patrick Mahomes. He's so confident, so cool, calm, collected. And I know we say a lot of people are cool, calm, collected in the pocket, but this man is literally cool. He's cold as heck in the pocket, folks. There's ice running through this man's veins because when he's on the field, his heartbeat drops. His heart rate goes up when he's watching Josh Allen move down the field. When the pressure's back on him, Josh Allen throws a touchdown pass. Patrick Mahomes on the field, he's like, okay, I got to get one out. Okay, I can do that. I got to get one out. I can do that easy peasy. So this man, he's going to be cool. He's at home. He's going to be calm. He's been here before where Joe Burrow, once again, no knock. I'm not knocking at all on Joe Burrow. I'm singing the highest of praise here. It's just a different beast that I don't know that they're ready to go up against. And plus this little anecdote right here. The cornerback for the Bengals, Eli Apple. I've always been a decent fan of Eli Apple. Always thought he's kind of got, a negative shake. He was on the Giants, then he went to the Saints, and now he's on the Bengals here. But the way that Eli Apple has been talking this last week, it's got me a little concerned. He obviously was fantastic in the win against the Titans. Absolutely. He kind of forced the game-winning interception, was playing tight coverage, tipped up the ball for that game-winning interception, or leading to game-winning field goal off that interception there. But Eli Apple has kind of been running his mouth here on Twitter saying he doesn't know which fans are worse, the Giants or the Saints, calling out the Saints food, and that's something you do not do, is disrespect the Saints food culture in any way. The gumbo, the shrimp, everything that they do over there in New Orleans, you do not make fun of that at all, or you're going to have some guys knocking on your front door. So he's been talking a little bit wild here, and everybody's kind of been clowning him in retaliation of posting clips of him getting burned after getting burned after getting burned when he was with the Saints and the Giants. And there is some valid criticism there. I'm not going to lie. I do like Eli Apple, but he does get burned. Oh, well. So these, maybe Eli Apple has a giant head hitting into this game, and the Chiefs see him talking all this nonsense and are going to kind of expose and exploit him a little bit. So we've got that playing against him. We get Joe Burrow. He's being confident. I've got no problem with confidence, but when you say confidence out loud, you must live up to it. That's why, I try to restrain myself from kind of, talking out of my neck a little bit, because I know that I have to live up to that, or I'm going to get clowned. And with Joe Burrow kind of saying, hey, I don't know, can we stop being called underdogs? We're here to play. We are for real. Stop with the underdog mentality. And once again, I've got no problem with that, but now you're going to have to kind of play up to that now. So then we got that factor working against them. And now back to the Tyrann Mathieu. Here we go. Tyrann Mathieu, when he's on the field compared to when he's off the field. So 605 dropbacks by quarterbacks when Tyrann Mathieu is on the field, compared to only 121 quarterback dropbacks when he's off the field. But these are the numbers. On the field, quarterbacks have a 64% completion percentage with Tyrann Mathieu on the field. Off the field, 75. So we see it go up because Tyrann Mathieu's not there. So they take the deeper shots, and that's exactly what we saw the Bills do in the final 2 minutes to kind of make it truly competitive. Yards per attempt with Tyrann Mathieu on the field, 7.1 yards per attempt. When he's off the field, 8.0. So once again, airing out the ball when Tyrann Mathieu's not on the field. Touchdown to interception ratio with Tyrann Mathieu on the field, 28 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. That's pretty gosh dang good right there. When he's off the field, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. So when he's on the field, 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. When he's off the field, 5-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. And then the passer rating. When Tyrann Mathieu is on the field, 91.5. When he's off the field, 109. The quarterback's passer rating is. So we see a huge, clear difference with Tyrann Mathieu on the field and without Tyrann Mathieu on the field. So we truly need Tyrann Mathieu on the field here if we want to bet the Chiefs here, and that truly seems like what is trending forward. I don't think we get Tyrann Mathieu up here. He is kind of trending towards playing. We don't have anything concrete, solid yet. Let's check the news again. Tyrann Mathieu, trending, not trending. What do we got? 18 hours ago. He's on field impact, returns to practice Thursday. Oh, Tyrann Mathieu returns to practice Thursday of AFC Championship week. Oh, Tyrann Mathieu was spotted at Kansas City Chiefs practice Thursday ahead of the AFC Championship game. So yeah, he's practicing, seeming like he's trending towards playing here, which once again gives us great confidence in Chiefs -7. So, with all that being said, folks, we are locking in Chiefs -7. The public money is on that at the current moment, and I don't want to knock Joe Burrow. I just think this beast is a little bit too big. I think this is probably a 10-point game. Chiefs win by 10. And Bengals decently playing really good here, but just unfortunately, just like Josh Allen last season in the AFC Championship game in Kansas City, they lose by 14. Still an overall good game by Josh Allen. Same thing here with Joe Burrow. Different beast, maybe not ready for this big moment in the electric atmosphere of the Chiefs that have been here and been here and been here 4 straight times, winning rings and all that. Chiefs -7. Alrighty, and then the next game up here, 49ers at the Rams, folks, and I've been going back and forth. The line, you get the extra half-a-point hook with the 49ers. 49ers +3.5, Rams -3.5. This one is so freaking tough to call. But I'm going to bet. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, folks, and I'm going to bet the Rams -3.5. Once again, public money is on both. With the Chiefs, we get it at -120 on the line, on the spread line. And with this game, they're both at -110, the classic odds of a spread line. So the money is on both sides. No clear favorite on the public's money at the current moment. But Sean McVay, we have never been more impressed with the head coach early on. Like, obviously, we're impressed by Andy Reid. We're impressed by Bill Belichick. They have the accomplishments. We all know this. But Sean McVay, still young here, finally having his guy, and how he operates this team, we absolutely love it. With the Rams, offensive passer, obviously Matthew Stafford, we're believing in him as well. We're hoping that this moment isn't too big for him either. Rams -3.5. Now, I have this stat here. Now, it doesn't speak to my pick here, but I do want to say this stat here because it is truly interesting and it truly applies to what we've got going on here. So, teams, NFL teams that have faced 3 times in a season. And the only way that you can face a team 3 times in a season is if your division, in the same division, and then you face each other in the playoffs. You get 2 times playing your division partners, and then you face them in the playoffs at some point, and that's how you face a team 3 times. Now, this has happened before, folks. This is not the first time 2 teams have faced each other 3 times in a year. There have been 21 times, folks. Here we go. Via ESPN. Since the 1970 merger, 20 teams, but I think after this article was written, I believe there was one more. So 21 teams have had to face a division opponent in the playoffs after beating them twice in the regular season. And that's exactly what we have right here. 49ers and the Rams, same division. 49ers beat the Rams twice in the regular season, and now they face in the playoffs. How do those teams fare going up 2-0? 13 of those, actually 14, because I have to add the extra one that we're going to talk about. 14 out of 21 times the team that has won the first 2 meetings win the third. So 14 out of the 21, so it's 14-7, folks. 14 teams have won it. going up 2-0, three-peated, 3-0 shutout, 14 out of the 14 times winning, 3-0, 7 times. It's a little bit of a different story of the team that got down 2-0, wins it in the playoffs. So that speaks to the 49ers, folks, of them winning this game right here. We get the teams that have that has kind of recently flipped the script. Since 1970, 7 teams have gone 2-0 against a team in the regular season, but then lost their third matchup game. So here we go. In 2007, the Cowboys were up 2-0 against the Giants in the season series. They play in the divisional round. The Cowboys lose that game. Packers did it in 2004 against the Vikings. Went 2-0 against them in the regular season, and then they face in the wild card game, and the Packers lose that game. Then we have some from 1998, 1994, 1992, 1989, 1983, where the Seahawks beat the Raiders twice and then lost to them in the conference championship game. Unfortunate. So that is the last time a conference championship has lost a 2-0 lead. We have to go back to 1983. So that's exactly what the 49ers are in right now. So that speaks to the 49ers of winning them. The last time that this has happened was in 2017, the Saints and the Panthers. Saints beat the Panthers 2 straight times in the regular season. They win week 3, 34-13, an absolute blowout. Panthers kind of were a little bit better the second time around. Only lost by 10, 31-21 to the Saints. And then in the playoffs, they once again got a little bit closer, but still lost. And the Saints beat the Panthers 31-6. So we saw every single time the Panthers faced the Saints in 2017, the Panthers started out to get blown out, but then every other matchup, they got a little bit closer and closer and closer. And that's kind of what we're seeing. The same exact thing here with the 49ers and the Rams. The 49ers beat the Rams week 10, 31-10, a blowout. Then in week 18, they win 27-24. So the Rams got a little bit closer. And now we get this matchup right here in the conference finals. Potentially the Rams being a little bit more competitive. But if we compare it to just what we saw against the Saints and the Panthers, 2017, the 49ers can still win this game. So if you love stats like that, we don't put too much stake into historic stats and all that. But if you do go by the stats, the 49ers plus the 3.5 is the side to play. But I'm believing in Sean McVay, and like we said yesterday on the show, folks, we are believing that Jimmy Garoppolo makes a mistake. I do not see Jimmy Garoppolo playing a flawless game right here. Sean McVay is too smart to keep getting beaten by Kyle Shanahan, and Kyle Shanahan is smart too. Once again, I'm not knocking anything on the 49ers, maybe a little bit of Jimmy Garoppolo, but that is it. And once again, the 49ers, they only have Dabo Samuel. If you shut him down, this is going to be a pretty much a cakewalk for the Rams. So they've got the blueprint on how to stop the 49ers. It's just the execution now. Rams at home, I don't think it's going to factor that big overall. It's unfortunate that we're going to swallow the half-a-point hook here, but I'm believing big time in Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay. This is how you coach a team, and I think they get rewarded this week, folks. We're going to swallow the 3.5 here for the Rams at home. I'm not betting on Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm taking the better quarterback in both of these matchups. I'm betting on Patrick Mahomes. I'm taking and betting on Matthew Stafford, and that's who I believe will be in the Super Bowl. And man, oh man, I can't wait to talk about that mother-loving matchup. So, our official picks, we are going Chiefs -7 and Rams -3.5. Alrighty, folks, that is all for today. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We are back live tomorrow, noon Eastern, where I don't even know what we're going to be doing on the show. So come and find out, folks. Maybe we'll start talking about some prop bets since there's only 2 games. What else can we do? These lines, once again, these lines are truly hard to decipher. I believe we've got them right, folks. So, I'm not, wavering on my picks or, kind of playing both sides here. No. I'm still confident on my picks. It's a tough line, but I believe we're on the right side. So we'll kind of maybe talk about some prop bets, all of that to see If we can make a little bit money not having to cheer for one team specifically, anything like that, maybe we can root for both, overs, touchdown scores, all that. So we'll probably investigate that a little bit more on tomorrow's show, obviously breaking down the NBA as well. So that is going to do it for us today, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Back tomorrow. Have a great one. We think there's some great value in the NBA, so try and make a little bit of money there and then roll it all over on Championship Sunday. Yes? Yes. All righty, folks. We are out of here. Have a great one.